Mobile sports betting is legal here in the state of Ohio. BetQL is here to help you make the most informed bets possible. Get all of today's best bets simply by heading to BetQL.com or download the BetQL app. Claim your free 3-day trial today. BetQL.com/news/923 The Fan, where you can get all your exclusive sportsbook offers.
He is Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. It is always game day in Cleveland, brought to you locally by Smiley One and Bryant, Northeast Ohio's premier heating and cooling solution. Daryl, you left us hanging. You left us hanging at the end of the last segment.
I'm a little concerned that the Browns might lose somebody.
And Bubba Ventrone?
No, eventually. But not Bubba.
By the way, I found out today, went to high school with a famous Cleveland personality. Let's see if you can get it.
Steve Harvey.
No.
I'm being facetious. Bubba
Natalie
Ventrone
Herbeck from Fox 8.
Oh.
They went to high school together. She said he was like the dreamy football god there. Little insight for you. You're looking at me like I'm insane. No, they went to the same high school, and that he was a football hero, and there are plenty of those at schools all across our great country. Anyway, all right. So who would that coordinator be? As if I don't know.
I am concerned that the Schwartz may no longer be with the Browns at some point here.
Well, I mean, he has coached his butt off this year.
He really has, and if I think he is absolutely deserving of consideration for a head coaching job. Here's what I hope happens, though, selfishly, Andy.
The Browns pay him head coach's money and have him stay.
Nope. I hope what happens is he says, you know what? I've been there, done that. As a defensive coordinator, I have to deal with all that crap that head coaches have to deal with.
Because a lot less bullets, right? A lot less bullets, although...
And remember, he took a leave of that. He had to step away from the game for some health issues and that. And Mike Vrabel, the Titans, who he has talked about how grateful he is of Mike Vrabel for reopening the door for him and giving him an opportunity to get back into the game that he loves to coach. But yeah, I hope he just says, you know what, been there, done that. I'm happy coaching with Kevin here in Cleveland. I love the guys we got here and whatever. Like, that is this, because the transformation of this defense, Andy, it has been incredible, and he is absolutely deserving of head coach consideration in the next coaching hiring cycle.
They have also invested in the defense too, right? I mean,
they've been investing.
When's the last time we had depth like this on the defense? It just hasn't been.
But my argument against that, Andy, is they've been investing in the defense for the last 4 years.
I don't know, man. It feels like the investment this year is very real.
JJ3 wasn't cheap to sign him from the Rams in free agency.
True.
Right? Mm-hmm. Jadeveon Clowney, $10+ million a year to bring him here for a couple years. So like it's not like the defense is an area that has just been left to waste and then all of a sudden Andrew Berry just woke up one day, had an epiphany, and said, "Oh crap, maybe I ought to add some defensive players to that side of the ball." He has been regularly investing in that defense, but I just feel like that they did such a good job. To your point, they invested in the guys that fit Jim Schwartz's personality and the skill sets that he requires. Okay, so let's give Andrew Berry some credit for that. But yeah, I think Jim Schwartz is absolutely, unfortunately for the Browns, he has put himself in consideration in this next hiring cycle that they could lose him because he's done his job too good here in Cleveland.
So excuse me, I just think part of it though, when you look at it, like when I first realized that the defense was going to be something, is when they signed Zadarius Smith. I mean, Double O, how many teams could he be starting for in the NFL? And to have that much quality, and one other thing, the other thing was the commitment to bring in guys like Juan Thornhill and Double O, guys that understood what it's like to win and get to the next level. And like, understand this is what it takes to get to the playoffs, and this is how we're going to win. And like, I love that attitude from guys that got it, understood it, and have won in the past. I think a lot of times the Browns have gone out and got guys that won, but they were just collecting a free paycheck because they were at the end of their career.
Right.
They brought in guys that were still legit to play, and whether they were playing a backup role or playing a starting role, they're here, you know?
Well, Obadiah Okoronkwo was
We'll talk
signed
about it.
to be the starter opposite of Myles Garrett. That
Right.
that was the original plan, and then the Zadarius Smith trade came to fruition, and then that was a hey, jump on that opportunity because it presented itself. But yeah, I mean, again, the investments on that side of the ball have paid off. The player development on that side of the ball certainly has paid off as well. And that's why the Browns are in the top 10 in just about every meaningful defensive category this season. And it's just night and day. And this defense has really, and not just the defense, the personality of the team has kind of taken on Schwartz's personality. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
they're
Absolutely.
and for all the jokes that we made, and I obviously will self-report and put myself, out there about the Greenbrier thing and the camaraderie and that. You know what?
It's legit.
That was a good couple $1 million spent by the Haslams to allow Kevin Stefanski to do that. It has paid off because this team is tight. I can tell you, like being in that locker room every day, Andy, and seeing how these guys interact with each other, they legitimately enjoy each other's company. And that it's an environment in that locker room that I have not seen in a very, very long time. A lot of years it's just, hey, we're all here to do our job, and it's a workplace atmosphere, and yeah, sure, guys have fun and things like that, but like you really feel like these players really do enjoy being around each other. They believe in each other, and that is, I think that's a big component as to why they have been able to overcome all of this adversity. Because let's be honest about it, Andy. If I would have told you at the beginning of the season the Browns would have to start three different quarterbacks, Dorian Thompson Robinson and PJ Walker were going to be two of those three starters. If I would have told you that Nick Chubb was going to be lost for the season, and Deshaun Watson would be lost for the season, and Jack Conklin would be out for the season, right? You would probably tell
And you'd
me that
lose Jed Wills for a good portion of it. I mean, you lost both your
right.
tackles. Yeah.
How many games below 500 would you expect the Browns to be at this point, right?
Totally agree. I think
So
people would have been, there's no way. But
instead of
I
being
think we're all
7-3,
buying.
they'd be 3-7.
Right. Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. So instead of being 7, they'd be 3-7. So when you talk about things to be thankful for here as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday, that's one of them. That these guys love being around each other. They have each other's back, and that they have been able to overcome this mountain of adversity to be in this position here in late November where they are legitimate contenders, not only in their division, they're a half game out of their division, but they're also a half game out of the number one seed in the conference.
Yeah, I'll just, since you just did your thankful, I'm going to say just quickly because I want to get on one more topic before we're done. I'm totally thankful for the move to get Dustin Hopkins. He has just been. I don't think. We all thought that he couldn't. I was with you because you looked at the numbers and his success at really long field goals plus 45 was not good before he got here. But man, he has proven to be everything and a little bit more, and I hope it continues for the rest of the season. So I'm thankful for him. Daryl, take us home with a little bit of a survey that was done about stadiums, my friend.
Oh, so there was a survey done about the
Stadiums.
stadiums around the NFL. This sports book called Jeff Bet analyzed stadium reviews on Google, Yelp, TripAdvisor, and they determined the most popular and the least popular stadiums in the National Football League. And to the surprise of nobody, the Cleveland Browns and their home stadium, Cleveland Browns Stadium, ranks in the bottom third of popularity in the National Football League. Can you believe that?
Shocker.
So
Give me a
I'll give you.
number.
Yeah, they are ninth worst. So the worst stadium in the NFL is FedEx Field, according to these rankings. Levi's Stadium, which is actually pretty much new, right? And they're going to host another
Right.
Super Bowl. That's ranked the second worst stadium. SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, that's ranked the third worst. Paycor Stadium in
Really?
Cincinnati, fourth. Yeah. You know what it is, SoFi? See, I'm not a big mega news. Like, I don't like Jerry World. I've never been
I
there,
can't
but
I've been to Jerry World, and I'm not a fan. I gotta
you
tell you,
can't
if
see
you're
anything.
sitting in the upper deck, you're a
Yeah.
mile away from the field, and the seats
Right.
are super sloped. Like, I'm telling you, I wouldn't bring a little kid up there. There's no way.
Yeah.
Those seats
Yeah.
are really steep.
I really don't like the new super stadiums where, like, the upper deck at Progressive Field to me is too high. Because they got the three levels of suites for most of the ballpark, right? And
Right,
they're
which
like
some of that's
NFL
going away, though,
stadiums.
isn't it?
Yeah, no, no. Well, I mean, they're taking some of the upper deck away. You're right, but
Right.
they're not lowering the upper deck, unfortunately.
Right, like,
But yeah, a lot of these new super stadiums, like the upper decks, are so high because of the so many levels of suites and club seating and all that they're putting in.
yeah, Texas, the
I
original Texas, the
Texas Stadium.
ballpark, the one they just moved out of, like, both of that was one of those 2 that there were just too many. It was bizarre. It was like there was an office building in the outfield out there, but yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, so Soldier Field, fifth worst, Raymond James Stadium,
Soldier
sixth.
Field sucks, man. I can't that's
Yeah.
they seriously tried to put the,
A
like, a
spaceship
bubble
in the
around it.
middle of a
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really hard to get around into. Okay, what were you saying? What was the other one?
MetLife Stadium, seventh worst. Nissan Stadium, home of the Titans, is eighth. And then the stadium that's better than the Browns, the Bills Stadium, Highmark Stadium, is listed as 10th worst. What do you think the best stadium in the NFL in these rankings ended up being?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Well, I'll tell you the best stadium I've ever been to, because it
Okay.
has embraced its history and remodeled to perfection, I think. Lambeau, for me. And I'm just trying to think of other stadiums that I've been to. I've
Yeah.
been to way more college stadiums than I have NFL stadiums,
My
but
favorite stadium is the number two. Lambeau was number one. My favorite stadium is Lucas Oil Stadium.
which is
I
really
wish
nice too, yeah.
that Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta is ranked third. Acrisure
Wait,
Stadium in
Mercedes?
Pittsburgh.
Did you say New Orleans was 3?
Mercedes-Benz in
Sorry.
it. No, in Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
Mercedes-Benz in
Okay, yeah,
Atlanta.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
AT&T Stadium in Dallas for
Can't
Arlington for the
stand it.
Cowboys is fifth.
I don't think AT&T is very. I don't
I
like it.
know. Arrowhead is sixth. US Bank Stadium is ranked seventh, the home of the Vikings. M&T, home of the Ravens. By the way, best press box in the National Football League, the Ravens. I
Really?
have been told, my sources tell me that press box is going away. They are going to build a press box on top of the upper deck, like they did in Kansas City, so that they can turn that into suites and other amenities for the rich people.
Are you so let's be super honest. If the Browns have to stay, you better believe that press box is going bye-bye. Don't you think?
No, no.
Those are
I
prime
was told
seats,
I know.
Daryl.
I was told.
Those are
I was told
prime
the press
seats.
box is staying. They're not moving the press box. I that I have a pretty good idea what they want to do to
Okay.
that thing.
I'm
And
just
a
saying
lot.
that if they ever had to stay in that stadium and they had to do a remodel, I don't know, man. I'm just talking about from aesthetics, that the press box seats are very, very good seats at our place.
Yes, they are.
And by the way, there was all kinds of talk at then Jacobs Field, Progressive Field.
They were going to move the writers all the way down the lines, because that's what's
Yeah,
happening in Major League Baseball now.
yeah.
Is they're moving the press boxes down the right and the left field lines, so that they can turn the normal traditional press box area behind the home plate. They can turn those into suites and stuff like that. But my understanding is at Progressive Field, the press box also is not moving. It was under consideration. The other thing at Progressive Field was under consideration. The Guardians were thinking about changing dugouts. They were thinking about going over to the first base dugout, but they found a way with the way they're expanding the service level and moving the service provider out. They're building that building out in right field on East 9th Street there. They're enclosing that
Right.
open space. That they did that for the concessionaire and the service level support and all that. That's all going there, which opens up enough room for them to be able to do everything that they want to do on the service level. So the Guardians dugout will remain on the third base
Yeah,
side.
I would say the big
Uh,
loss, like the dugout on the
Plus, you don't want the
clubhouse.
sun shining in your eyes. That's also the perk of being on the third base side, because in the summertime, that sun, right? It hammers that first base dugout. So
Yeah.
they didn't really want
The
to
only
do
thing that
that.
I would the consideration for baseball though is, the cages are right there for the home for
All of that
uh,
stuff's getting
uh
redone. The entire
yeah,
service level is being rebuilt. New clubhouses, new player amenities, new cages, new therapy, new trainers, new video and
yeah.
technical support and all that kind of stuff. That entire service level is getting gutted and being rebuilt.
Well, yeah, I can see it. I understand it. All right, he's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. Browns play the Broncos next. We want to thank our amazing producer, Meredith Kane, for going the extra mile on this podcast. We appreciate you. And that's it. It's always game day in Cleveland. Thanks, Daryl.
Happy Thanksgiving.